I mean, they have already announced Joe Flacco as the starter, Dillon Gabriel as the backup, Shedeur Sanders as the third string quarterback. But here we are talking about Travis Kelce, Cam Ward, and others chanting, "We want Shedeur Sanders."
Travis Kelce didn't hold back. On August 27th, 2025, the Chiefs star and Cleveland native called out the Browns for benching rookie Shedeur Sanders, saying the team is ignoring what fans truly want. Kelce's explosive take lit up headlines and may have just sparked a full-blown quarterback controversy in Cleveland. Some voices in football are hard to ignore, especially when they come from someone like Travis Kelce. The Kansas City Chiefs tight end and proud Cleveland native has stepped into the Browns quarterback controversy with a message that couldn't be clearer. The fans want Shedeur Sanders. His words have stirred up debate, not just in Cleveland, but across the NFL. Shedeur Sanders isn't just another rookie, he's the son of Hall of Famer Deion Sanders and one of the most talked about names from the 2025 NFL Draft. Even though many expected him to go in the first round, the Browns selected him much later at pick 144 in the 5th round. Leading up to the draft, things got messy. Some unnamed scouts criticized his attitude, saying he held the ball too long and gave what they called the worst formal interview they'd ever seen. Those words followed him into the league, but they didn't stop him from signing a 4-year deal with the Browns on May 19, 2025. The Browns have already made their depth chart clear. Veteran Joe Flacco, a former Super Bowl MVP, is the starter. Rookie Dillon Gabriel is the backup. Sanders sits third as the emergency quarterback. Early in preseason, Sanders showed promise. He completed 17 of 29 passes for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns. He didn't throw any interceptions, which impressed a lot of fans. But in a game against the Rams, things changed. He was sacked 5 times, and at one point held the ball for more than 6 seconds, giving the defense more than enough time to close in. Analysts called that a red flag. That performance reopened concerns about his pocket presence and speed-reading defenses. It also gave the Browns coaching staff more reason to take things slow with him. Not everyone believes the Browns are handling things fairly. Shannon Sharpe and Chad Johnson called the situation sabotage. They said Sanders was being set up to fail, especially with the second-string offensive line struggling to protect him. Coach Kevin Stefanski pushed back. He said the team is focused on developing Sanders the right way, and that nothing about the depth chart is unfair. He pointed out that it reflects what coaches have seen in both practices and games. Quarterback trainer and former NFL player Achilles Smith agreed Sanders needs to grow, especially in making faster decisions, but he also praised his work ethic and calm attitude. NFL Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson didn't just offer an opinion, he dropped a bomb. In an interview, he suggested that league officials may have told teams to pass on Shedeur Sanders as a message to other young players. According to Dickerson, the goal was to make an example out of Sanders due to his high profile, confidence, and business approach, including his strong NIL presence in college. The claim immediately caught fire on social media, especially among fans already suspicious about how Sanders was sliding down the draft. While no proof has surfaced, and many analysts labeled the theory baseless, it tapped into a growing narrative that something about Sanders rubs the NFL establishment the wrong way. The league has denied any involvement, but the buzz didn't die down. It added yet another layer to an already tense quarterback situation and gave those backing Sanders more reason to question what's happening behind closed doors. During a podcast episode released on the 27th of this month, Travis Kelce joined the debate on the Browns' quarterback situation alongside his brother Jason, co-hosting their show New Heights. He said, "Give the people what they want. Start Shedeur Sanders." According to him, the rookie brings energy, attention, and excitement that the Browns desperately need. While his brother Jason supported the Browns' decision to start Flacco and promote Gabriel, Travis doubled down. He said fans weren't just curious, they were rooting for Sanders, and that kind of energy, he explained, could bring real momentum to the team. Inside Cleveland, fans find themselves pulled in 2 directions. On one side are those who support Joe Flacco, a proven veteran with a Super Bowl ring, calm under pressure, and someone who understands how to manage a game. On the other side are those who believe the Browns need a bold change. For them, Shedeur Sanders represents more than just a rookie quarterback. He's the spark of something new. Younger fans especially are drawn to his confidence, style, and potential to lead a new era in Cleveland. The tension is growing as the September 7th, 2025 opener against the Bengals approaches. If Flacco falters early or the offense looks flat, the volume from Sanders supporters will skyrocket. Dillon Gabriel may be listed as the backup, but it's Sanders who holds the spotlight. Even Baker Mayfield, no longer with the team, couldn't avoid the topic, proof that this story has already reached beyond just football circles. Travis Kelce's comments have turned up the heat in Cleveland. He didn't demand Sanders be named the starter, but his words added public pressure to a team already facing scrutiny. The Browns now have to manage both football decisions and the growing voices outside the building. For now, the plan seems clear. Sanders will stay on the sidelines while he sharpens his NFL skills. But in this league, things change fast. One injury, one bad game, or one surprising moment could bring him onto the field sooner than expected. And if that happens, everything could shift. This situation isn't just about football. It's about perception, power, and timing. Sanders has quickly become the face of Cleveland's hope for the future. He's a symbol of how quickly things can change in the NFL. Some fans see him as a future star who just needs the right chance. Others worry that the system is designed to slow him down. Travis Kelce's public support added weight to that feeling. It showed that this isn't just a fan base hoping for a breakout, it's a league-wide conversation. Coaches are under pressure to win, not experiment. But when a player brings both potential and public interest, it forces tough decisions. Shedeur might be waiting quietly now, but the story is far from over. If the moment comes when he steps onto the field, it won't just be another snap. It'll be a test of everything fans, coaches, and players believe about fairness, readiness, and what the NFL really values.
Jerry Jones said the agreement he believed he made with Parsons would have made him the highest paid guaranteed player other than a quarterback in the NFL. He then unloaded on Parsons' agent, David Mulligetta. You have to hear this to believe it.
When we wanted to send the details to the agent told us to stick it up our ass.
On August 1st, 2025 in Oxnard, California, something strange happened. Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons had a meeting, but after that, things got weird. People started talking. The news spread fast. Now, the Cowboys are in the middle of a big mess. No one knows what's true. It all started just 1 week ago, but it feels like something really big is coming. It all began with a simple meeting in Oxnard between Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons. What followed turned into one of the biggest stories in football. Two powerful figures, one the face of the franchise, the other its rising star, now stand on opposite sides. The agent in the middle, the silence in the air, and the season opener just days away. Everything is on the line.
Guarantees everything. We were going to send it over to the agent, and the agent said, don't bother because we've got all that to negotiate. Well, I'd already negotiated. I'd already moved off my mark on several areas. And so the issue, very frankly, is we've had the negotiation in my mind. And the agent's trying to get his nose in it.
Jerry Jones is no stranger to big stories. He bought the Cowboys in 1989 for $140 million and shaped them into a football dynasty in the early 1990s. 3 Super Bowl titles, a global brand, a team known as America's team. He was both the owner and general manager, a rare role that made him both the CEO and the head coach's boss. Over the decades, he built the Cowboys into the world's most valuable sports franchise, now worth over $10 billion. But his hands-on style also created friction. He fired legendary coach Tom Landry and pushed his former college teammate Jimmy Johnson out. As time passed, his refusal to delegate football operations drew more criticism. Yet, Jones continues to shape every major decision the team makes. Can a single man really run an empire this size without creating cracks in the foundation? In January 2025, talks between Micah Parsons and the Cowboys began in private. Both sides were cautious but hopeful. Parsons, still under his rookie contract, had emerged as one of the best defensive players in the league. He wanted pay and respect. Jones, known for bold moves, seemed ready to act. But then the talk stopped. From early summer to early August, there was silence. Parsons' agent, David Mulligetta, reached out, trying to finalize terms. But Dallas did not engage. Then, on August 1st, Parsons posted a trade request on social media. He explained he had tried to negotiate, but the team had refused to talk. His frustration was loud and public. How does a superstar go from face of the franchise to trade request in just 6 months? That same day, Jerry Jones said something no one expected. When the Cowboys tried to send the paperwork to the agent, Jerry claimed the agent told them to stick it up our ass. Those words blew up headlines, but the agent denied saying it. He laughed it off and said he had never used that phrase. Suddenly, trust was gone, and the story got personal.
When we wanted to send the details to the agent told us to stick it up our ass.
Was Jerry trying to win public sympathy, or had negotiations really turned that bitter? Micah's side responded with strong words. This wasn't just about football anymore. This was about respect. He pushed back against Jerry's tone. "You ain't my daddy" became the headline phrase. It wasn't just a contract dispute. It became a story about power, pride, and culture. During Cowboys training camp, Jerry Jones claimed he offered Micah nearly $200 million in guaranteed money. That amount would make him the highest-paid defensive player ever, but Micah still didn't sign. Instead, he stayed out of practice and asked to be traded. If the money was that big, why not take it? Because Micah didn't just want money. He wanted fairness and trust. Would you turn down a record-setting deal if you felt disrespected? After Parsons' trade request, direct talk stopped. Reports say there have been no negotiations since early August. Jerry said the deal was done in his mind. He claimed the only problem was the agent. Parsons disagreed. Without real talks, everything has frozen, and each day that passes makes the tension worse.
And the agent said, don't bother because we've got all that to negotiate. Well, I'd already negotiated. I'd already moved off my mark on several areas. And so the issue, very frankly, is we've had the negotiation in my mind.
Why is one of the biggest franchises in sports going silent during a crisis? At training camp in Oxnard, Parsons did not practice. He was seen on the sidelines eating snacks and stretching on tables. Some said it was back tightness. Others saw it as a quiet protest. Meanwhile, the Cowboys played a preseason game and won 31-13 without him. Jerry joked with Parsons' mother, and the moment went viral. It showed how strange and personal the story had become.
Oh, all right. All hands are very much on deck this morning. As you can see, it is just lunacy. By the way, Joe Fortenbaugh and I are wearing the same jacket. You can tell us apart. I'm the one without the mustache.
That is very clearly a Merlot. This is a Burgundy. I would expect more from you, Greenberg.
Fair enough. Well, you're the sommelier. I'm merely the fashionista. Let's go. No more wasting time.
Was this a lighthearted moment or a sign of deeper disrespect? As things got worse in Dallas, other teams started paying attention. Packers quarterback Jordan Love joked he was recruiting Parsons. Fans laughed, but the message was clear. If Dallas won't treat him right, someone else will. Jones said Parsons won't be traded, but the rumors have only grown. Could a trade actually fix this or tear the Cowboys apart? This situation comes just as a Netflix docuseries aired on Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. It told the story of how Jerry built the team into a brand. But now, that proud legacy is clashing with a new generation. Micah Parsons represents what's next, and Jones is holding on to what was. Is this a changing of the guard or the start of another chapter of control? Inside the Cowboys' locker room, teammates are watching. Some have supported Parsons publicly. Others have stayed quiet. But everyone sees the conflict. When a team's best player is missing, it sends shockwaves. And when a front office treats that player like a problem, the whole locker room feels it. How long before this cracks the locker room beyond repair? September 4th is coming fast. That's the Cowboys' season opener. Will Parsons play? Will Jones tag him, bench him, or pay him? Nobody knows. The team could use the franchise tag for 2 more years. But doing that could make things even worse. If Parsons refuses to play, who loses more to him or the team? This story is not just about one contract. It's about how players are treated. It's about who gets to speak and who gets ignored. If Parsons wins, more players may speak up. If Jerry wins, owners may feel even more power. The NFL is watching. The fans are watching. And the next chapter has not been written yet. What kind of message does this send to every young player watching? This is not just a story about the Cowboys. It's about respect, power, and pride. Jerry Jones has run the show for decades. Micah Parsons is one of the best players in the league. Right now, they are on opposite sides. And with every day that passes, the gap between them grows. When Week 1 begins, everyone will be watching. But not just for football. They'll be watching to see if Micah Parsons steps onto the field. They'll be watching to see if pride can be set aside. Because no matter how this ends, it will be remembered. And the next move could change the Cowboys forever.
Not all contract holdouts are the same, and the media tends to always take the player's side in this. I get that with Terry McLaurin of Washington. I'm on his side. I'm not on Micah Parsons. First of all, I was on team trade Micah Parsons a year ago. The Cowboys are a mile from the Philadelphia Eagles roster composition. They need 4 good players. I would have gotten a couple of second-round picks, maybe a first and a fourth, whatever. I like Micah. He's a good player.
This is not just a guy mad about money. Imagine your best friend from school suddenly stopping practice, staring in silence while everyone else plays. That silent moment turned into a big explosion, but it wasn't about a sprain or a mistake. It was about respect, trust, and how far someone will go before they walk away. The Texas sun was blazing, casting long shadows on the Cowboys' practice field. Players were clashing, yelling, running plays full speed. Coaches blew whistles, fans watched from behind the fences, and music thumped from portable speakers. It was the kind of atmosphere you expect in late summer with training camp in full swing. But suddenly, all the noise seemed to fade. And the silence wasn't because the music stopped, it was because Micah Parsons walked onto the field and everything felt off. He wasn't limping or taped up. He had his pads strapped on and helmet swinging from his hand, but his face was cold, his steps were slow, and most important, he wasn't taking any reps. This wasn't just a rest day or some soreness. He hadn't been participating fully for days. Every drill he stood out of made the tension rise higher. His teammates gave him space, coaches didn't push too hard. Everyone knew something was going on, but nobody wanted to say it out loud. You could see it in his eyes. Micah wasn't angry. He was done, tired, fed up, not just with the grind, but with the silence, with waiting, with being expected to carry the defense while his future stayed up in the air. That moment when he walked out and just stood there was louder than any press conference or tweet. It was a protest in cleats, a signal that something behind the scenes had broken. Micah Parsons didn't just want money, he wanted to be seen, to be respected. He wasn't asking for something crazy. In fact, he'd made it clear for months that he was ready to commit long-term. He'd shown up early last season, put in the work, and even hinted that he'd be open to talking about a new deal before things got messy. But Jerry Jones, the Cowboys' longtime owner, played it differently. Jerry said he and Micah had a good conversation, said it was positive. But here's the problem. It wasn't a real negotiation. There was no paper, no email, no official offers sent to Micah's agent, David Mulugheta. And in the NFL, if you're not dealing with the agent, you're not serious. Micah didn't say much publicly, but the signs were everywhere. His social media began to change. He scrubbed Cowboys logos from his bios. He posted cryptic messages and videos. Fans caught on quickly. Something wasn't right. And it wasn't just about money, it was about how the Cowboys were handling him. Because while other stars were getting paid across the league, Micah, one of the most explosive defenders in football, was watching his value go up while his contract stayed frozen. He'd done everything the right way. He didn't blast the team on Twitter. He didn't ghost the camp. He showed up, but he stopped playing. That was his statement, his stand. And it was only a matter of time before someone pushed back. Dak Prescott, cool, calm, the quarterback. He'd been through this before. He signed a big deal himself and knew how it feels to wait. He stayed patient, but words hit the wind one day, a soft growl. As Micah stood silent, Dak bounced back from a play. He murmured just loud enough, "Cash your checks later. Right now win with us." That was it. Parsons heard. He turned. Steel eyes. A quiet roar. What did you just say? The two leaders locked in that moment. Dak doubled down. Everyone's grinding. I don't care about your agent games. We're trying to win a Super Bowl.
What this man deserves. You had an idea about it, and you're playing these games. And why am I so disgusted with Jerry Jones about this? Because of the things that I've heard. Molly, Mike T, Swagoo, you've heard this. Do y'all know he hasn't spoken to Micah Parsons' agent? You're talking about, you're treating like the discussions that you had months ago with Micah Parsons was a negotiation. It wasn't a negotiation. Now, you know this as a former executive in the National Football League. You don't sit up there and have a discussion with a player and think that's a contract negotiation. Was anything memorialized? Was anything firmly and definitively agreed upon by the parties that be? Normally, you're sending the player away because you want to talk to their representation. You're not thinking that a conversation with a player who, by the way, is 25, 26 years of age, that this man is astute and he's an expert at negotiations. That's not Micah Parsons.
Parsons, chest heaving, snapped back. He carried the defense.